2 follows the events of the original Deadpool. This time around, a mutant named Cable travels back in time to kill a 14-year-old kid, and Deadpool decides to recruit a team of superheroes to save the child. There's actually a lot more to the plot than that simple synopsis, but that is essentially the central conflict of the film, and since the trailers haven't said too much more than that, I don't want to say too much more than that, as this is a spoiler-free review. On Sunday, I'll put out my spoiler-filled review, so if you want my full thoughts on it, the long form of the review where I go into the specific plot points, tune in on Sunday to check that out. For right now, go ahead and tell me down in the comment section, what did you think about Deadpool 2? Did it live up to the hype? Was it a disappointment? Or was it even better than the original? I'd love to hear your take on it. With that said, let's get started talking about the good. The best thing about this movie is that it is very entertaining. The stuff that you liked from the first movie, whether it's just kind of that non-stop fourth wall breaking humor, the culture references, motor mouth Ryan Reynolds, you get more of all of that. Likewise, the action in this movie is probably a little bit better than the first movie, as they brought in one of the guys from John Wick to do the action, so he's great with the action, and it's not just cool action, it's interesting action because they're taking full advantage of all these different mutants and their mutant abilities. And so whether that's Deadpool and his healing factor so he doesn't care if he gets injured, they do so much kind of gross, graphic, violent stuff with that I absolutely loved. Or whether you're talking about Cable with technology in his arm, they do interesting things like that. Domino and her luck. All the action is done in a way that's fun to watch because it's unique in the way it's captured. Also, like the first film, there's a great set of characters that have amazing chemistry that you want to spend a lot of time with. Whether you're talking about the veterans from the first film or our new characters that are brought in, whether the people that are in X-Force, obviously Cable being brought into the mix, they're all a lot of fun to be around. And also the movie has a lot of cameos, whether actor cameos or character cameos, that are just fun to be thrown into the mix. It's just populated with amazing actors doing fun performances. Once again with this movie, the opening credit sequence is really funny and you gotta pay attention to all the little jokes that they throw into the mix. And the movie in the end credits have several post credits. There's not an end credit after all the credits, but there's several mid credit sequences that are amazing, hilarious, and you're going to want to check out. And one thing I really appreciate about this movie is that it's a very different type of movie from the first film. Tonally, it's the same, the humor's the same, Ryan Reynolds is the same, but the story itself is much more complex and it's told in a very different style than the first film, so it feels like a unique, fresh experience. And I was a little bit worried maybe the trailers gave away too much and so you could piece the things together. It's not like that at all. There's so much more to the plot than what's revealed in the trailer. Big, gigantic plot lines are not even hinted at in any of the marketing for this film, and I kind of applaud them for that. It also finds a way to have a deep emotional core in new and different ways from the first film, so there's themes that actually kind of resonate with you on levels you were not really expecting in this type of movie, and it might be more emotional than the first film. From there, let's move on to the mixed aspects of this film. The big thing in this category is that this movie goes for it. I mean, it just tries every joke, every cultural reference, every kind of gross out violent gag that they can think of. They throw it at the screen. It's like every idea that they came up with in the brainstorming sessions makes it into the movie. And that both means that there's kind of nonstop entertainment, but there's also a lot of times where it feels like they're trying way too hard. Some jokes fall a little bit flat. Some jokes feel a little bit like they're trying to outdo something from the first movie or have a new version of a gag from the first movie. So the end result is a movie where it just feels a little bit too much like they're trying so hard that you're definitely entertained throughout, but you go, okay, did all of that work? I'm not quite sure that it all did. From there, we'll move on to the bad, and the biggest issue is that there's way too many plot lines. I alluded to this before when I said the trailers don't really give away the full plot, and that's because it goes in so many different directions throughout the entire movie that you couldn't put a trailer that would even hint at all the plot lines going on in this movie that don't really feel like they need to be there. They just threw every idea that they had into it. So it gets very complex, very overpacked with characters, with storylines, with directions, and it feels like it just has to rush through all of them to get to all the plot lines. And as you're going through the movie, it takes a while before Cable even shows up, and certainly before he becomes a major part of the story, because it goes off in so many different directions throughout the movie. Likewise, the movie is jam-packed with tropes of the action genre. So many plot lines feel borrowed from other movies, and at times the movie feels like it's trying to joke about that a little bit by calling out what they're ripping off, but at a certain point in time you go, okay, this is just lazy writing because you're just repeating this same joke about how this is just another plot line from a different movie. Even some of the musical cues in the movie are very derivative of other action movies. One in particular where they're jumping out of a helicopter that I couldn't believe that they played the song straight, because it's such an action movie cliche to play this song. But overall, this is a movie that provides 2 more hours of solid Deadpool entertainment. It's probably not as good as the original one, but it's a worthy follow-up that just has a few story issues along the way. I'd give this movie a B, and on an entertainment level, it's probably an 8 out of 10. I would definitely say this is a movie that delivers on the aspects it needs to deliver on, and you should definitely check it out if you liked the first Deadpool. But what did you think about it? Go ahead and tell me down below in the comment section if you've seen it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did it live up to the hype? Did it exceed the original film, or did it disappoint you? Is this another lackluster action comedy sequel? Let me know your thoughts on it. Also, remember to tune in on Sunday for my spoiler-filled review where I'm going to dig through the specific plot points, let you know exactly what I was talking about in this review. Actually, I'd like to share some of you guys' takes on the movie. If you use the Stardust app, you can record your reaction, tag me in that, and you might be featured in my Deadpool 2 spoiler review coming out this Sunday. And if you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos, but the key thing is I don't want to just talk about movies, I want to talk about movies with you. So join me down in the comment section. Let's have a nice lively discussion about Deadpool 2. And as always, thank you for watching.